Welcome to the Female VC Lab podcast. I have Eva here. Eva, in one line, give me your name, your title, and the name of your fund.
Eva Yazhari, Managing Partner, Beyond Capital Ventures.
So tell me how you got into venture capital and what inspired you to become an investor.
I love that question because I fell coincidentally into finance. I was studying for a math degree at Columbia University, and
Oh, wow.
I had a friend whose boyfriend worked in investment banking, and she's like, "Hey, you're studying math. Most people who study math go into finance. Are you interested to get into the financial industry?" And I was like, "Okay, great." So I ended up doing a night investment banking program at Merrill Lynch,
Oh,
which
wow.
really helped me understand what investment banking actually was. And also for me, helped me realize that it wasn't the industry that was right for me within finance. So I
Mm-hmm.
quickly networked my way into the hedge fund of funds business
Oh,
and
wow.
ended up being employee number two at a very large fund of funds. And as a part of that team, we built the portfolio, we allocated hundreds of millions, and we also raised $4.8 billion over 5 years
Wow,
as
that's
an
amazing.
investment team and as a very small team. It was great.
That's
And I have
amazing.
to say, Barbara, the experience that I got was learning how to run a fund business and
Critical experience.
understanding, yes, an undervalued experience when it comes to the
Yes.
world of venture, right? So I got that experience in learning how to run a fund business, but also I learned the deep due diligence and a relational approach to investing. We were always very close to our portfolio companies, which were hedge funds, and we always could call them and get explanations and ask questions. And we had real relationships with them. And those are the two skills, I'd say three skills that I took to starting my own VC. So I really got into this industry because I came out of more institutional finance. I
Mm-hmm.
had the skills to apply to a new market, which is emerging markets, as you know.
Tell me a little bit about your thesis and kind of the motivation behind your thesis of the Beyond Ventures.
What we do at Beyond Capital Ventures is we invest in need to haves led by conscious leaders, leaders who are considering all stakeholders. And why that matters is because in environments where there are massive demographic tailwinds for rising middle classes, which
Mm-hmm.
are effectively Africa and India in a
Africa,
nutshell,
India,
not to
some in
oversimplify
LATAM as well.
anything. Exactly. But in these markets, it is important to be aware of what sometimes Wall Street calls externalities, but what I would call stakeholders. Not only your shareholders and your customers, but your community, the government that you're working
Yes.
around or near, and then also the climate as well as a stakeholder in the
Yes.
business. And so we take a very relational approach to investing in people who are building technologies and services and products for the rising middle classes in India and Africa. And we invest seed to Series A in healthcare, fintech, mobility, and a little bit of ag tech as well.
I think the ag tech may get expanded, right? So how do you go about extending that for these youthful populations? You want them to eat in a healthy
Yeah.
way. So how do you make sure that they're nutritionally getting what they need?
Well, I would respond to that by telling you a little bit more about one of the categories that we invest in,
Sure. I'd
and
love to hear
that
that.
is formalizing the informal. In
I
emerging
like that.
markets, a lot of industries are informal. I
Mm-hmm.
don't love the term. I've had colleagues in the industry say, why are we saying they're informal? But effectively, they're very small businesses, right? That
Yes.
are not connected to a larger financial system. They don't
Yes.
have access. Just they're basically selling their products, rebuying inventory, selling products. There's no way for them to grow their businesses. And this is the case with smallholder farmers.
Mm,
And so
that makes sense.
our thesis at Beyond Capital Ventures is to not replace smallholder farmers, but significantly enhance their
Mm-hmm.
capabilities. And we've got a
I
great
like that.
company in the portfolio thank you, called Cinch. And Cinch is a company that what they say their tagline is turns idle land into income.
There
And
you go.
Cinch actually leases land from smallholders who are not farming their land
Like
and
utilizing the fullest part of the land in essence.
exact
Hmm.
and aggregates that land to meet commercial contracts. Because if you have 65% of the arable land on the planet, which Africa does,
Yes.
and you need to feed 1 billion people from that continent,
Yes.
it's very hard to add up very smallholder plots and
Absolutely.
have
At
a value
scale.
chain
At scale.
at
Yes.
scale. That
At scale.
scale.
Yes.
You
No,
got
that
it.
makes sense. I like that, how you said they're informal. It's not that they're not in a formalized market. It's more, it's not completely codified or solidified. So it can
Yeah,
scale because, they
exactly.
have the highest concentration of young people. You have to think about it. In 20 years, they may have young people. That flywheel there needs to be established. So, like you said, the traditional way in which it's done can be scaled in
Yeah.
essence.
And you're hitting the nail on the head, Barbara. This is a market opportunity.
Absolutely.
This is an
100%.
opportunity to invest in the right businesses that are also, in some cases, category creators. We've
Mm-hmm.
got companies that are doing something for the first time in our portfolio that fit into this category creator kind of
That's awesome.
theme. And one of them is a e-mobility business in the portfolio that not only makes the bikes, but developed the battery swap network. So has
Oh,
built
wow.
the
That's
battery
cool.
swap network, the
Mm-hmm.
rider to ride up, change the
Change it,
battery,
swap it
go
out,
on
and
with
then
their
keep going.
day and keep working.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are you currently learning or listening to or reading these days, Ava?
I think I'm in a phase of having built my firm to Fund 3. We also launched a credit
Oh,
strategy.
congratulations on Fun 3.
Thank you. We're in the
Oh,
process of
yes.
raising that. So,
All
but
good.
I think because we're pretty much final close on the credit strategy, I can talk more about that. And I
Sounds
think
good.
that is a learning for me. What
Okay.
I learned was becoming a multi-asset firm. Has been highly valuable for us at Beyond Capital Ventures.
Huh.
Not only are we lending to venture fund portfolio companies, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
venture debt, it's senior secured loans with a
Okay.
five
Yes.
times asset discounted collateral ratio, very strong collateral.
Structured. Very
And it's
structured as well. Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly. So it's top of the debt stack.
Yes.
But we also learned that it helps diversify our business. As we close this fund, I'm in a position to tell my investors, you will get your money back in less than a year and a half.
There you go.
And it's a 3-year fund life with, interestingly, top quartile venture returns because we know most VCs below top quartile returning 1x. So we're
Yes.
looking for a little bit more than that with the interest rates that we charge and warrants as well. And I think in
Okay.
general, we are really have learned that diversifying our business is what
Mm-hmm.
helps us as a firm be sustainable. And that's something I've been learning. But as I level up, Barbara, I have more responsibilities, more funds to manage, and we've got a great team. But what I'm really focused on is growing my leadership capabilities. So the book I'm reading is
That's
called
great.
The Culture Code by
Oh, the
Daniel
culture code.
Coyle.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a
it's a
good
great
one.
one. It's about how where teams can follow the quality of 1 + 1 = 10.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah, I
Well,
recommend it.
I like that. We all could use more training on how to be better leaders, how to be better communicators, how to be better individuals in general. So I love that.
Yeah, a lot of this game is personal growth.
That's
I'm
true.
happy to talk about that as well.
So here's the bonus question. Everyone gets it. In 2 years, when we're talking, and let's not take another 2 years, Ava, to be talking.
Agree.
How do you see venture capital having changed or evolved?
Well, I'm really interested to see where the more traditional VC, or let's say the US VC market, goes with the heavy, heavy focus on AI.
It's going to be
I'm
very,
really curious
very
how some
interesting.
of the larger franchise funds will grow and scale as a result of those investments. That being said, I do believe that there will be more and more niche strategies because effectively VCs need three things. They need to invest, they source better, they need to invest better, and they need to add value. And then I'll throw in a fourth, which is my bonus, which is exits start on day one. They need to exit better.
Yes. Yes.
And
You must have
and
exit
so
on day one. True.
yes,
That's
exits on
true.
day one.
How are
They
you going to?
start on day one.
Yeah, yes. That's very
And
critical.
And so I think what we would be talking about is much more differentiation in strategies outside of enterprise SaaS and AI. I think where we are right now, my just cursory observation is that some of these larger VCs that are really only focused on AI, they will become even bigger because the returns will yield back to their track records and to their fund sizes and their AUM, and they will attract more capital. Whereas then the other landscape for VCs will be much more niche. And I think that's where the alpha really is.
It's
The
going to
alpha
matter.
is in the niche piece. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
So,
the niche really matters.
yeah, I think I agree. So, talk a little bit more about your leadership, since we kind of left that on the last question before we depart on
Of
the
course.
podcast.
No, and I
Talk to me
think
a
it's
little
a
bit more about that.
yes. What I'm really focused on is modeling what I want the culture of my firm to be. We invest in conscious leaders. I started this conversation with that. What that
Yes.
means is that we also walk the talk as conscious leader. We as a firm are considering all stakeholders. We are relational. We are not necessarily always transactional. We aim to believe deeply in the approach of what we call above the line. So are you always acting above the line or are you acting below the line? And we've got a lot of examples right now in the world of leaders who are below the line. And so it's
Absolutely.
my role and my purpose and passion is to behave above the line at all times, see possibility, be abundance mindset. Realize, Barbara, that when I win, you can win too. This is not a
That's right.
win-lose situation. Not every trade has a loser on the other side.
That's true.
And I want to share one thing that we're doing that I'm really proud of. In addition to giving carry to every team member, including the executive assistants at Beyond Capital Ventures, we're giving carry to the founders that we invest in. So we're giving 10% of the GP carry as a pool that founders can earn if we reinvest in them or they meet specific milestones if they're later stage. And that creates shared ownership.
Yes.
And there's really no skin off my back. It's
shared community there, completely.
Right.
And it's completely everyone's aligned.
Exactly. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for alignment. I'm looking for our founders to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. And that helps them contribute better to us, introduce us to better deals, introduce us to companies that they would like to have own an ownership stake in, help each other, work with other founders in the portfolio, open doors. And so it's just such a great way to create, as you said, community. And that's what I'm doing in the leadership right now.
That's very powerful, what you just said. Thank you for
you.
sharing that. So how do people contact you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram at Conscious Investor. You can pick up a copy of my book, The Good Your Money Can Do, where I talk about conscious investing and how you do not need to trade off returns for impact and can line up all your values with your money. You can check out the book at thegoodyourmoneycando.com, and you can check out Beyond Capital Ventures at beyondcapitalventures.com.
Great, and we'll have all that, as usual, in the show notes. Thank you so much, Eva Yazhari from